Countdown to top 10 historical events that could have ended the world, times when humanity came dangerously close to extinction. Throughout history, humankind has faced numerous crises that had the potential to cause catastrophic devastation. Some events brought humanity to the brink of extinction, reminding us how fragile our existence can be. From natural disasters to human-made perils, these moments have altered the course of history and could have ended life as we know it. This article will explore the top 10 historical events that brought humanity dangerously close to the edge, delving into what happened, how we survived, and the lessons we can learn to avoid future calamities. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with all our latest content, so you never miss out on exciting new videos we release regularly. Just hit the bell icon to get notified instantly whenever we post something new, ensuring you're always in the loop with fresh and engaging content that matches your interests. 10. The Toba supervolcano eruption 74,000 years ago. Approximately 74,000 years ago, the Earth experienced one of its most destructive natural events, the eruption of the Toba supervolcano in what is now Indonesia. This eruption was so powerful that it spewed a vast amount of ash and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, leading to a global volcanic winter. Temperatures dropped dramatically, disrupting ecosystems and reducing food availability. Some scientists believe the eruption reduced the human population to as few as 3,000 to 10,000 individuals, creating what is known as a genetic bottleneck. This near-extinction event profoundly impacted human evolution, and although our ancestors survived, the eruption serves as a chilling reminder of how a single natural disaster could threaten the entire species. 9. The Black Death 13471351. The Black Death, one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, swept across Europe, Asia, and Africa in the mid-14th century, killing an estimated 75 to 200 million people. The bacterium Yersinia pestis, spread through fleas and rats, was responsible for this devastating plague, which wiped out roughly one-third of Europe's population in just 4 years. The sheer scale of death and the collapse of social structures caused immense panic and chaos. Cities were deserted, economies crumbled, and superstition reigned as people struggled to understand the plague's cause. If the Black Death had continued unchecked or mutated into an even deadlier strain, it could have led to the total collapse of civilization. While the pandemic eventually receded, it left scars on society that lasted for centuries. 8. The Cuban Missile Crisis 1962. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a pivotal moment during the Cold War when the United States and the Soviet Union came perilously close to nuclear war. In October 1962, U.S. intelligence discovered Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from the U.S. mainland. The discovery led to a 13-day standoff between U.S. President John F. Kennedy and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, as both superpowers braced for the possibility of all-out war. With tensions high and military forces on alert, the world stood on the brink of nuclear devastation. If negotiations had failed, even a single misstep could have triggered a global nuclear war, potentially ending human civilization. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and a diplomatic resolution was reached. The Cuban Missile Crisis remains one of the closest moments humanity has come to self-annihilation. 7. The Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction 65 million years ago. The Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, caused by an asteroid impact 65 million years ago, is perhaps best known for wiping out the dinosaurs. However, it also brought the Earth to the brink of ecological collapse. The asteroid, estimated to be about 10 kilometers 6 miles wide, struck what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, creating the Chicxulub crater. The impact triggered massive wildfires, tsunamis, and a nuclear winter effect, blocking sunlight with debris and dust. Temperatures plummeted, photosynthesis was disrupted, and up to 75% of all species, including the dinosaurs, were driven to extinction. While mammals, including early human ancestors, eventually thrived in the aftermath, this event highlights how an asteroid impact could obliterate life on Earth. 6. The Spanish flu pandemic 1918 to 1919. The 1918 Spanish flu pandemic was one of the deadliest outbreaks in human history, killing an estimated 50 to 100 million people worldwide. The H1N1 influenza virus spread rapidly due to the movement of troops and refugees during World War I. Within a matter of months, the virus had infected roughly one-third of the global population. The pandemic's death toll was exacerbated by the lack of medical infrastructure and understanding of viruses at the time. The Spanish flu hit young, healthy adults the hardest, further destabilizing society still reeling from the horrors of war. If the virus had mutated to become even more lethal, it could have decimated the human population entirely. Though we survived, the Spanish flu serves as a stark warning of the dangers posed by pandemics. 5. The Chernobyl nuclear disaster 1986. On April 26, 1986, a reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the Soviet Union, now Ukraine, exploded, releasing a massive amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. The explosion and subsequent fires sent plumes of radiation across Europe, contaminating land, water, and air. The meltdown resulted in the immediate deaths of plant workers and emergency responders and caused long-term health problems, including cancer, for thousands of people. Chernobyl is often regarded as the worst nuclear disaster in history, and its long-term environmental and human health impacts are still being felt today. Had the explosion been larger or the wind patterns different, the radioactive fallout could have contaminated a much wider area, leading to a global catastrophe. The Chernobyl disaster exposed the inherent risks of nuclear energy and the potential for devastating consequences when safety measures fail. 4. The KT impact 65 million years ago. Another significant extinction event, the KT impact, shares many similarities with the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction. The asteroid that struck Earth at this time was responsible for killing off not just the dinosaurs, but also a vast number of other species. This event illustrates how external cosmic forces can pose an existential threat to all life on Earth. Had the KT impact been slightly more severe, it could have sterilized the planet entirely, leaving Earth devoid of any life. The lesson of the KT impact is clear: the universe is full of hazards, and humanity must be vigilant in monitoring potential threats from space, such as asteroids or comets, that could repeat history. 3. World War II and the atomic bombings 1939 to 1945. World War II remains one of the most destructive conflicts in human history, resulting in the deaths of over 70 million people, both military personnel and civilians. The culmination of this devastating war was the dropping of atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. These bombings marked the first and so far only use of nuclear weapons in warfare. The power of atomic weapons was unlike anything humanity had ever seen. The bombs obliterated the cities, killed tens of thousands instantly, and caused long-term suffering from radiation exposure. Had nuclear weapons been used more extensively during the war, or had other countries retaliated with similar weapons, the global destruction could have been unimaginable. The atomic bombings of World War II are a sobering reminder of the dangers of nuclear warfare and how close we came to worldwide annihilation. 2. The Late Bronze Age collapse 1200 BC. Around 1200 BC, several advanced civilizations in the Mediterranean and Near East, including the Egyptians, Mycenaeans, and Hittites, experienced a sudden and catastrophic decline, a period known as the Late Bronze Age collapse. This collapse has been attributed to a combination of factors, including invasions by the mysterious sea peoples, widespread drought, earthquakes, and internal strife. The interconnectedness of these societies meant that the collapse of one led to a domino effect across the region. Trade networks crumbled, literacy rates fell, and cities were abandoned. Though humanity survived, this collapse resulted in a dark age for centuries, during which many advances in technology, culture, and governance were lost. Had the collapse been more severe, it could have led to the extinction of entire civilizations and set back human progress by millennia. 1. The Cold War and the threat of global thermonuclear war 1947 to 1991. For nearly half a century, the world lived under the shadow of potential global thermonuclear war during the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union amassed vast arsenals of nuclear weapons, capable of annihilating entire cities and ecosystems. The concept of mutually assured destruction ensured that any large-scale nuclear exchange between the superpowers would result in the complete destruction of both nations and likely the end of human civilization. Throughout the Cold War, there were numerous incidents where a nuclear exchange was narrowly avoided, such as during the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Able Archer 83 war game, where miscommunications or misinterpretations could have led to accidental nuclear war. The Cold War's end in 1991 brought relief, But the threat of nuclear annihilation still lingers, as nuclear weapons remain in the arsenals of many countries. This period of history highlights the ongoing danger posed by humanity's capacity for self-destruction. These 10 events are stark reminders of how close humanity has come to extinction throughout history. Whether due to natural disasters, pandemics, or human actions, these moments show the fragility of our existence on this planet. While we have survived these crises, the potential for future cataclysms remains. The lessons learned from these historical events should guide us in preparing for and preventing future threats, ensuring that we do not come so close to the brink of extinction again.
If you love diving into today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community. Stay in the loop with our weekly uploads full of fascinating facts and mind-blowing trivia. Like, share, and spread the knowledge with your friends. Let's explore the world together.